Hello everyone and welcome to a game between Shiek versus Blade here on Last Refuge. Don't really know too much about these particular players, so I believe it's the first time that both of these players have been featured on my channel. Soon I'll need a bigger jar. Needing a bigger jar is a good problem. Good problem to have. Alright, Shiek spawning as the blue undead over here on the top right. Meanwhile, Blade has spawned as... Blade has spawned as the red human on the bottom left. And I realize, like, I gotta watch what I say sometimes, especially during these intro parts of the videos where not much is happening and I'm just rambling. I'm saying, like, you know, I have to do this on Twitch and so on and so forth. I don't have to do this on Twitch. No one's forcing me to. I don't have to post these on YouTube's either. It's just something that I do, in fact, enjoy. And... well, bucket incoming, but at the same time, just because I enjoy it, doesn't mean that I get to always do the things I enjoy, since I do have responsibilities in life. Being able to cover some cost of daycare, cost of, well, really just the cost of my internet bill and my phone bill, gives me a little bit more incentive to try and cast these games, and being able to explain it to the missus as well. Otherwise, I'd be taking away probably about 8 to 10 hours away, out of my week to do this without much benefit. And, you know, I don't want to pick that fight. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and break things down here. It is going to be an Archmage going up against a Death Knight. Didn't even need to click on the Altar of Darkness. It is an Archmage versus a Death Knight here on Last Refuge, as we are most likely going to be looking at the Archmage. Going to be going ahead, dropping a Water Elemental. Is it going to simply bypass this Ogre Warrior? Nope. Going to go ahead, clear out this Ogre Warrior 4-3-3 creep camp, and then could mosey on over and clear out the 5-3-3 creep camp not too far away. Death Knight now looking to make its way back down. Is it going to attack a sheep or critter around here? Wow, there's no critter here. No critters here at all, as I guess he is going to go ahead and try and deny this Water Elemental instead. It is, in fact, taken down, as the Death Knight almost wasted a Death Coil trying to earn that extra bit of experience. Archmage doing a little bit of chasing. Death Knight now running back, knowing that, hey, you know what? I can't really do very much. And this is opening up to be, well, not very exciting game. Now, we can see that Blade is going to perhaps be trying to clear out this creep camp here. Are more peasants being trained? Yes. It is obvious that an expansion attempt is underway, at least from our perspective. But at the same time, Shiek is not using his time effectively. He is not harassing well. He is not clearing out creeps, and he's just simply waiting for Crypt Fiends. The Death Knight should be lower down here. Thank you for the subscription. That definitely does help, as the Death Knight now simply just going to run on by, perhaps try to use that Rod of Necromancy, get some additional units, and try and put pressure at this location. You can see a lot of militia here, but the Death Knight seems a little bit too scared instead of being proactive. All right, there's a Death Coil, gets a little bit of experience right there. Ogre Magi is still up. Death Knight, Skeletal Minions now joining in on the fight. Claws of Attack +6. Is the Water Elemental going to get taken down? There's the Death Coil, steals a bit more experience, as well as the Skeletal Minions are going to be backing off. All right, Critter taken out in order to make room for a Scout Tower. That sounds like, I don't know, that Archmage must be American, taking out the local wildlife in order to begin construction. Anyways, Death Knight. Death Knight now joining back in, using more Skeletal Minions to put pressure and at least make this expansion cost a little bit more. Peasants are getting taken down. Skeletal Minions, however, are getting focused down as well, as the Crypt Fiend and the Death Knight still looking to back off once again. All right, Archmage and Crypt Fiend and Death Knight looking to back off here. I'm glad you guys like that joke, as the Archmage and the Death Knight looking to do a bit of retreating. All right, that was pretty on the fly. I gotta pat myself on the back for that one. All right, Archmage heading back off to the north, wanting to add more damage to that Death Knight. That Death Knight is not going to be able to get a lot of heals. What is that? Hashtag justice for sheep. as this isn't New Zealand. All right, peasants gonna just go ahead and quickly build that arcane tower, going after, unable to get the death coil off, and it looks as though that peasant is gonna end up surviving because of that arcane tower. Beautifully done there, as Shiek unable to stop that at all. All right, Death Knight now heading back off to the north. As you can see, footmen are looking to make their way inside this base. Not a good choice whatsoever. As you can see, human should really be pressing their advantage with the economic advantage. By trying to rush an undead base, you see, well, that footman just took a lot of damage there, and the Death Knight, it can just come across here. There's a death coil. Thank you for the experience. I'm gonna head back home. All right, Death Knight with Crypt Fiends. Is he going to be able to start creeping out some of these creep camps? There is an Archmage sitting at level 2. Does have Claws of Attack +6. Joining in on the fight here, Death Knight picking up Rod of Necromancy. He is at Halls of the Dead, and the Lich is already making its way out. We also see the Slaughterhouse is going to be joining in on the fight as well, as we should be having an Obsidian statue and perhaps a meat wagon join in on that pressure. Archmage, Death Knight looking to put pressure here. You can see damage going to start to rack up, but the footmen want to dive in after all of these units. Lich with that Frost Nova can really punish any units that try to get a little bit too close and then need to run away. There you see it, the Water Elemental and the Archmage realizing the predicament that they're in and not wanting to engage there, as you now have the Ogre Warrior attempting to engage here. Archmage gonna go ahead and dive on in. Level 2 on the Death Knight. Unholy Aura, so important. Come on, train it. Train it. All right, apparently Unholy Aura is not that important, as it is not being trained, as the Crypt Fiend's now going after the remainder of the units. All right, there you go. Finally getting that Unholy Aura, getting the last final shot off there, as this Water Elemental is going to end up getting taken down due to its time life. Meanwhile, Death Knight does not use a Death Coil to save a Crypt Fiend. All right, mistakes galore, as the Archmage is going to get the killing blow onto this Ogre Magi, get the last bit of experience there. Meanwhile, Acolytes are going to go ahead and do a little bit of repairing and trying to run away from the footmen who are diving inside the base. All right, Human making a bit of a mistake once more. Is he going to lose that Crypt Fiend or that footman? Yes, he will. But at this game, it's turned into a game of who's going to make more mistakes. All right, Shiek and Blade both making mistakes galore. Is he going to be able to finish that last hit? Yes, he does get the experience on that final shot there. Now going after the Forest Troll Trapper. Archmage hanging around by the tavern, but decides not to hire up a tavern hero, as he now goes to castle. Archmage sitting at level 2. Are we going to see a Mountain King followed by a Paladin? Perhaps. Going to tier 3. Interesting choice. Are we going to perhaps be looking at Knights, Dragonhawks, Griffins? Only time can tell, as we are also perhaps going to be looking at tanks. Siege engines are very, very powerful as well if trying to deal with a large number of destroyers. And we are getting up Obsidian statues right now with the Black Citadel upgrade nearing completion. We've seen Undead players recently train up and get 5 destroyers with that mana very, very quickly to try and shut down expansions. If Shiek does that, he should come out in a very positive situation, as we see a big Frost Nova go down, attempting to take down one footman. There it goes. Meanwhile, Obsidian statue dancing around every which way, as the footmen are still chasing down units. Lich sitting now at level 2 as a new Obsidian statue joins in on the fight. Crypt Fiends. Well, Crypt Fiend gonna go ahead and just protect and take down this Water Elemental. Archmage is now feeding a little bit of experience as well, as the Lich is sitting at level 2 alongside that Death Knight. Now, Mountain King going to be joining in on the fight. Are we perhaps going to be looking at a Stormbolt? No Stormbolts yet. Archmage just dancing around in the back. And I've said this in the past, Undead armies need an early meat wagon, as you see a Water Elemental materialize through the trees. Interesting predicament right there, but that Water Elemental is just not long for this world. May end up getting taken down. 1 or 2 more shots. 1 more shot should do it, getting that last bit of experience again. Mountain King trying to join in on the fight. Death Knight comes across with that Unholy Aura, giving regeneration to those Obsidian statues once more, as the Arcane Tower going to go ahead and start feedbacking that Lich. Lich needs to back away. Not quite sure why it needs to be that close, as we are going to see Peasant after Peasant now getting taken down as well. Arcane Vault could get taken down. Meanwhile, we are getting weapons upgrades here, as you are looking at the Peasants just falling, feeding more experience to that Lich again. All right, big fight coming across. Footmen not using Defend right now. They would be moving much too slowly, as you see another final wave. Oh, Staff of Sanctuary teleports him back home at 6 life. Beautifully done right there. Buying the Staff of Sanctuary just in time, as the Abomination looks like it wants to dive on in. All right, this is going to turn into a bit of a war of attrition, but you're going to see the human player be able to afford to lose more. He is superior in tech, I believe. Well, economically speaking, he is in a much better spot, as the Arcane Tower now finally taken down. Death Knight and Lich able to venture forth a little bit closer. Death Coil healing up 400 hit points. That Abomination now needs to back off. It has absorbed a bit too much damage again, as the Crypt Fiend is in trouble. Is the Crypt Fiend going to be able to be saved? Yes, it will. Knights now joining in on the fight. No animal war training, as the Footmen are now trying to race on in. Staff of Sanctuary again. And this is something that I've been missing from a lot of human play. Good Staff of Sanctuary usage does swing the tides of battle. Paladin now joining in on the fight as well. But this has always been a big issue with Undead versus Human and their expansions. Undead on one base can, in fact, just slowly trade efficiently, since they do have a very, very good hero nuking ability. Death Knight, Flying Machines now coming across as well, as we don't see the Crypt Fiends with Web. All right, what's happening here? Those Flying Machines should be on the ground, not having Web. A major, major mistake by the Undead right now, as the units are now looking to back off. Death Coil still saving a lot of units, going to turn back around and engage again, as the Flying Machines are getting picked off one at a time. Knight could get taken down. No, Staff of Sanctuary once more, as the Crypt Fiends are going to go ahead and engage. All right, Crypt Fiends now need to back off. Death Coil saving all of these units, as the Obsidian statues are really doing a number and making this war of attrition just go in favor of the Undead. Being able to have constant mana, constant hit points across multiple units, making such a large impact on this game. And when you're trading, even if you are trading efficiently against the Undead right now, you are still, or you can trade efficiently, and because you're not trading efficiently, the Death Knight and the Lich are at higher levels. All right, Obsidian Statue taking a bit too much damage in that situation, now needs to hide back away once more. Crypt Fiends are going to go ahead and engage Abomination in that front line. Death Knight should be looking at a Death Coil, perhaps on that Abomination again, since that Abomination has been absorbing so much damage throughout this matchup. Abomination down to 545 hit points. Obsidian Statue still here, slowly regenerating hit points, as the Lich is sitting at level 3 and hasn't trained its level 3 ability still. All right, not quite sure. Wouldn't you normally just get level 2 Frost Nova to be able to nuke down these targets a bit more quickly? And with a level 3 Death Knight, almost level 4, and a level 3 Lich, going up against a level 3 Archmage, level 1 Mountain King, and a level 1 Paladin, things are just not looking good. Destroyer now making their rounds out. Flying Machines going to go ahead and try and chase after this Destroyer, and going to be able to do exactly that, but the Death Knight now making its rounds over. Unholy Aura allowing it to move slightly faster, as this guard tower and this base will end up falling. That Obsidian Statue really should be following the Death Knight. Thank you for the bits, Obsidios. That is very, very kind of you. Look at all of those bits just dropping into that cup right there, as the Flying Machine now going after the Destroyer again. All right, little pretty faces in there. All right, Web finally being researched. And with that said, economic advantage now lost. Experience advantage in favor of the Undead. That is going to be absolutely huge, as we see them leave this blacksmith alone, interestingly enough. Archmage off to the north here. Is it going to be able to get away? It should be able to. No Frost Nova. Dark Ranger now joining in on the fight as well. Dark Ranger quickly getting that black arrow, or what ability is it? Flying Machines now coming across. Web quickly thrown down across multiple units. As you can see, well, once the Flying Machines are even in numbers up against Destroyers, things are not good for those Flying Machines. Destroyers, well, taking down the flying machines, but not able to take down the knights in that front line as the crypt fiends are now getting eaten alive. Knight, Staff of Sanctuary is saved. Paladin, Divine Shield comes to an end as we might see. Nope, Stormbolt comes to an end right there, continuing to fight back and forth as we see the Paladin in big trouble. Staff of Sanctuary not in time. Still on cooldown as the Mountain King with so many potions of mana, but so low in level, not able to do very much. Abomination still going after the Mountain King there. Units are still being forced to retreat again as both sides losing a lot of units. As we are looking at, well, what the Calm does have a larger army right now, but he does have to retreat since he doesn't want to lose this low hit point Mountain King. Death Knight is right there. Death Coil not in time as the Dark Ranger is going to get focused down instead. Potion of Invulnerability, Holy Light as the Paladin. It comes back in onto the fight right there. How did he resurrect that fast? Perhaps a Potion of Mana transfer as the Death Knight needs to get a Scroll of Town Portal just in case things go sideways. Paladin perhaps used a Potion of Mana from the Mountain King as all of a sudden Human was amassing a large army back at home, calculating the loss of the expansion and then knowing that he could perhaps come back and win the other way. Flying machines with no targets, Holy Light melting a Crypt Fiend there as the units are in a massive retreat. Death Knight needs to double back around, give Unholy Aura to the remainder of those units. And yeah, thank you, Obsidios. That was, yeah, thank you for catching my stream. I do stream normally at this time, but yeah, beautiful game here as somehow the Human amassing up just the right army at just the right time to be able to push back. All right, we need to take a look and re-examine the situation. These units can still be healed. Staff of Sanctuary has got to be the saving factor right now. Mountain King almost level 3. That is potentially game-changing as well, along with the Paladin. 400 hit point Holy Lights, 225 damage. Stormbolts would really go a long way in terms of being able to focus down units. Now, only a 12 supply advantage right now, so he's not going to be able to capitalize on that, especially considering the Knight and the Spellbreakers are not in the fight just quite yet, so the army sizes are still pretty much even. Units going to go ahead and engage back here. Are they going to be able to finish off some units there? Death Coil able to save a Crypt Fiend. Are we going to see Crypt Fiend get taken down? There is level 3 now on that Paladin. Mountain King still not yet at level 3. Level 2 Holy Light should be saving the Mountain King right there. Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich gets Death Coil, does get saved. Mountain King does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, does use it in time as he may be trying to finish off some more units there. No, still does not have level 3 on the Mountain King for some strange reason. A Staff of Sanctuary onto that Knight. That was just a matter of time as Divine Shield now goes down on the Paladin. Again, Obsidian statues are actually separated from the rest of the army as the Knights could be going after the remaining units across here. So far, Knight down to 105 hit points. Is that Staff of Sanctuary? Yes. Double Staff of Sanctuary both on the Paladin and on that Archmage, really making it difficult to focus fire any unit whatsoever. However, the Mountain King, even though a number of units were taken out, I believe is still sitting at level 2. And that is perhaps the biggest disgrace right now. Level 3 would go a long way into shifting the tides of this battle. Level 3 Paladin. No, the Mountain King has to be level 3. All right, back across over here. More leveling. More bits. Thank you very much. Wow. Right there, thank you, Obsidios, for more bits chiming on in, making this day absolutely great for me as we are looking at the Dark Ranger getting up to level 2. Now I need to find that Mountain King. Where did it go? Did it actually get focused down? Yes, he did. Mountain King, perhaps it was a good thing it did not get to level 3, as he will be able to join back in on the fight slightly faster. All right, back off to the north here. Brilliance Aura being dropped for that Death Knight. Death Knight is going to be in a great spot. Dark Ranger and, well, more importantly, the Obsidian statues will not be running out of mana nearly as quickly. Forest Troll High Priest now trying to run around, going to get lost every which way. Meanwhile, at the opposite end, Archmage seeing that level 4 Mountain King just now out onto the field using a Clarity Potion, but really needs to get to level 3. Not going to be able to join in on that fight, though. Archmage, Paladin, what item was dropped over at this neck of the woods? It was... Wait, Gloves of Haste, Staff of Sanctuary? Well, All right, the Archmage got Brilliance Aura. I guess that's fair because the Death Knight got Brilliance Aura, but at the same time, it's not. Knights now coming out to join in on this fight here. Archmage does have a Scroll of Town Portal. Wow, a lot of damage being absorbed right there onto that Paladin. Mountain King doesn't have any way to join in on this fight easily. Stormbolt finishes off some units. Staff of Sanctuary. Is it going to be able to Staff of Sanctuary another Knight? Yes, barely, but is able to do so as the Mountain King is in that front position. Inner Fire stolen by onto that Priest right now, as we could see a Knight trying to run away. Knight is very low on hit points, down to 87.55, finally gets taken down, but after so long, Mountain King continuing the battle right now. Does it have a Mana Stone? No, it does not. Death Coil onto the Mountain King again. Holy Light saving it once more as this one Knight dangerously low on hit points. Is the Paladin going to be able to Staff of Sanctuary yet? I am not sure. It is running for the hills. Where are all of these units going? Trying to get every which way as we see, well, nope, not going to make it. Down it goes. Flying Machines could have tried to intercept it, as we now see 3 Destroyers going up against 3 Flying Machines. All right, Paladin back the other way right there. Death Knight, no, not in this fight, at least not that I see. Where's the Death Knight? Death Knight in the backfield here as the Destroyers are chasing after units. Archmage, or excuse me, Paladin and Mountain King trying to run back, trying to save the rest of these remaining units, but without anything to really challenge the air, not much can be done. This Knight looking to go back the other way, as this Knight right here is just going to end up standing there and getting destroyed. Archmage did end up falling at level 4 as the Knights look to rejoin in on the fight. Militia trying to come back once again. 56 supply compared to 49. The Calm having the smaller army now, as, yeah, Shiek and Blade just battling it out again. Paladin unable to use that Divine Shield, unable to use Holy Light as the Mountain King in that front spot. All right, let's see how all of this is coming across here. Militia making their way across here. Stormbolt onto the Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend going to get taken down. Paladin still hiding in the backfield here, hoping to get a lot of mileage out of all of these units. Skeletal Minion going to get taken down. Death Coil saving that Abomination, as the Mountain King perhaps could have Stormbolted it to try and finish it off. All right, is the Mountain King going to be able to get in there again? Flying Machines making their way over. Abomination looks like it could get taken down. No Stormbolt. Stormbolt is in Stormbolt not in time. Mountain King does not bother with it, as the Mountain King stayed at 125 mana and still not finishing off the necessary units. Archmage is here once again joining in on the fight. Militia gonna end up getting taken down here in just a second, as you see Staff of Sanctuary used on another Knight here. 44 supply compared to 40, but it is just a matter of time. The Archmage joining back into the fight, but he was out of the action for far too long. No more healing. Death Coil, Frost Nova, Death onto that Archmage. The hero nuking of the level 5 Lich and Death Knight just far too much, as we should be looking at the GG. All right, Death Knight, well, gonna be able to... Knight just taking damage right there. Destroyers could easily devour magic that debuff and finish it off. But yeah, I believe that was Shiek taking out Blade and in this matchup. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.